arm swing, I like to start off nice and slow. Taking a deep breath at the top, exhaling as you're finishing the motion. Just do 10, bringing them back, letting the back bend a little bit before coming down and squatting down. Kick to lunge. Do around 8 on each side. So then I'll switch. Row sumo squat. So I like to keep my feet open, toes are facing out. I'm going to come down, bring the weights up to a high row, look up, release at the same time. Deep breath. Exhale through the mouth as you're finishing the movement. Trying to keep the hips between the feet. Try to make sure that you're not going back, keeping the hips inside the whole time. The stiff leg deadlift to row. So making sure that our feet are just shoulder width apart, like so. We're gonna push our hips back, letting our back go all the way down, kind of like hanging from our hips here. And then when I want to come up, I only want to squeeze my glutes to come up. Like that. Now, that's the RDL portion. When I want to add the row, now what I'm doing is the same motion and bringing up my arms to squeeze. 2, 3, 4. I also like to imagine like I'm separating the ground with my feet. 5, 6. We're doing the dumbbell swing into reverse lunge. So I like starting off in the lunge already, placing the dumbbells on the flat sides so I can connect well. I like to start with a twist, already engaging my core, to then bring it up with the momentum and then control all the way down. Deep breath. Exhales, we're coming down. Try to go super slow, controlling it with the leg, the core, and then bringing it back up. Once I switch sides, it's the same motion. For the bench dips, what we're going to do is we're going to place the palm of the hand at the edge of our elevation. You can use a couch, a chair, anything that's a little bit higher than a foot. Bending the knees right in front of you. You're going to bend the elbows behind you, making sure that they don't come out to the sides. If you're looking like this, it's too far. Make sure that those elbows are nice and tight, only bending behind you. And you're exhaling as you're finishing the motion. Inhaling at the top. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, you can add some weight to the hips right here, doing the same motion, making it a little bit more challenging for yourself. Or if you want to add some calisthenic weight, you can lift up one leg. Switching sides. Hip thrust, pull over. So I'll put my feet at the edge of my mat, come all the way down, bring the weights over the head, bringing the hips up, taking a deep breath, Bringing the weights to the hips, coming all the way down. Once my hips or glute touches the ground, I'm going to squeeze the glutes, bring the weights back up, and do the motion again. We'll be doing the kneeling row. I like to start with just one dumbbell at a time. I'm going to show you the first variation, which is the slightly easier variation, where you're just pulling the dumbbell behind you, twisting the body, making sure that you're doing kind of like a semicircle movement, not just bringing it back. Trying to go past the hip behind you. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, lift one leg, do the same motion, controlling the weight, engaging the core, using the lat. Same thing for the other side. Placing one foot, which is the opposite leg, from the working hand. If you get tired, you could always bring that leg back down and keep going. We'll be doing the kneeling press to tricep kickback. So I like to start at the top of the motion. This is the press motion. So coming up, press, coming down, controlling the weight, coming all the way down, and then doing that tricep kickback. Bringing it back to the shoulders, going all the way back to that overhead press. Taking a deep breath, controlling the weight, kicking back with the triceps, going back to that press. Trying to match it to the rhythm of my breath. Next, we'll be doing the weighted dead bug. So bring your feet to the edge of your mat, come all the way down, bringing the weights just above the body, bringing the knees up to the sky, and then all together, you're gonna release the weight and the legs just hovering over before coming back to center. Now, if you wanna make this a little bit more challenging, I want you to brace the body into a crunch. A good stretch at the end of any exercise. I want you to start off with bringing the hands all the way up to the sky. We're gonna forward bend all the way to the ground, grabbing onto the shoulders, moving side to side, letting the back decompress. Taking a deep breath as you move side to side. When you're ready, you place the hands on the mat, walking the hands back, walking the feet back, pressing the chest down, going into the downward dog. I like to bounce in this position for at least a few breaths. Bringing the knees down, walking the hands out into the puppy pose. Taking a deep breath here. Going in with the hips until you're into that nice back stretch, bringing the arch of the back, allowing yourself to look over your left side until you're looking all the way behind you. Then doing the same on the other side. Getting a nice twist of the spine. Coming back to center, going into the child's pose, allowing yourself to bend and relax. Walking the hands out as far as they can. Coming back to that tabletop position, bringing one leg between the hands. Once you're there, on the back to bend one more time, opening up to one side, bringing the hand all the way through, and letting yourself come down onto the elbows. Picking yourself back up, going back to that tabletop position, and switching sides. Coming open all the way through. Coming down onto the elbows. Letting yourself relax in this position. Coming back to that tabletop position. Bringing one hand through the other, shoulder to the mat, and then extend the head out and look up. Bring the arm around us, touching our lower back. Slowly bringing the hand back, doing the same on the other side. Bringing the shoulder down onto the mat, extending the head forward, and then looking up at the sky. Bringing the other hand around us, trying to reach that lower back. Bring the hand back around, picking ourselves back up, going in to our knees, opening up our back, bringing our chest up and our hands up to the sky, intertwining the fingers, letting the head fall back. Coming back down, going into the child's pose one more time. Going into downward dog one more time. Cobra pose last time. Cat cow. Letting the back bend. Let it arch. Let it bend. Let it arch. And that concludes the stretching portion of our exercise. I hope you guys enjoy that one.